We all know that falls are a serious risk for older adults. It's a topic that comes up all the time. But what if the fall itself isn't even the most dangerous part? What if the real danger lies in the silent, terrifying minutes and hours that come after the impact? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that unseen danger. So let's just start with this one number, over 100%. What is that? Well, that's the jump in the death rate from falls for seniors aged 85 and older just from 2003 to 2023. This isn't some small statistical blip. It's an accelerating crisis, and it's happening right now.
And that's exactly why you hear experts use language like this, calling it a silent epidemic. It's the perfect way to describe it, isn't it? It's this massive problem that's happening largely behind closed doors, out of sight, but with absolutely devastating results. Okay, so to really get a handle on this, we first need to understand the true scale of this growing and often hidden crisis.
Just look at this breakdown. The trend is, well, it's undeniable. For folks in a 65 to 74 age group, we're seeing a more than 70% increase in fall-related deaths. It climbs to over 75% for those between 75 and 84. And then, as we saw, for those 85 and up, the rate has more than doubled. The key takeaway here is that the risk doesn't just go up, it accelerates, and it accelerates fast.
And we're not talking about some freak accident that only happens to a few people. The data is clear. More than 1 in every 4 older adults will fall this year. Just think about that for a second. In a group of 4 of your older friends or relatives, chances are one of them has taken a fall in the past 12 months. It is incredibly common.
But this brings us to the real heart of the matter. We spend so much energy trying to prevent the fall, which is great, but what about what happens next? What happens when someone falls and there's nobody around to help them up? This is where the story takes a turn, and where that hidden danger really starts to show itself.
And this leads us to a specific medical term that is absolutely central to this crisis: the danger of what's called a long lie.
So, what exactly is a long lie? The definition is simple, but honestly, it's chilling. It's that period of time, whether it's minutes or hours, that a person is stuck on the floor, completely unable to get up on their own. It's a state of total helplessness, and every single second that ticks by makes the situation worse. So how often does this happen? Frighteningly often. 1 in 5 seniors who fall ends up in a long lie for over an hour. That's a huge number. That's a significant portion of people left totally vulnerable, on the floor, for what can feel like an eternity. And this timeline really shows why every minute matters. The body starts what's called a cascade failure. In just the first 6 hours, painful pressure sores can start to form. All the while, the risk of dehydration and hypothermia is climbing. And if someone is down for 12 hours or more, the danger of life-threatening things like pneumonia and kidney failure skyrockets. The fall itself might have only caused a bruise, but the weight can be lethal.
And the scars aren't just physical. A long lie inflicts this deep psychological wound. It creates this paralyzing fear of it happening again, and that kicks off a tragic, vicious cycle. To avoid another fall, a person becomes less active. But that inactivity makes their muscles weaker, which, you guessed it, actually makes them more likely to fall. It's a cruel trap that can rob someone of their confidence and their independence. Okay, so you have this terrifying cascade of both physical and mental health problems. It's just devastating. So the big question is, what can we actually do to break this cycle? Well, the solution isn't some single magic pill. The real answer lies in putting a smart 2-part safety system into place. And that system has 2 jobs: prevention and response. For prevention, our best friend is the humble walking stick. And for response, our essential tool is the modern mobile phone. Think of it like this. One helps you stop the fall from ever happening, and the other is your safety net to make sure that if it does, it doesn't turn into a catastrophe. Let's start with prevention. A walking stick is such a simple idea, but it's incredibly powerful. It literally widens your base of support, giving you much better balance. It takes a lot of the strain off your legs and your joints. And, just as important, it gives you this sense of security that actually encourages you to stay active, which is how we break that cycle of fear we just talked about. All right, now for the response tool. If a fall does happen, a mobile phone is, and I mean this literally, a lifeline. You can call for help immediately. With GPS, paramedics can find you in a hurry. Some phones and watches even have automatic fall detection that calls for help for you. This one device is the single most powerful weapon we have against the long lie. But there's one more piece to this puzzle. A piece that acts like a risk multiplier for everything we've discussed. And that's the isolation factor.
I mean, look at this direct link between someone's social situation and their physical risk. Just living alone increases the odds of a fall by nearly 76%. And why is that? Often, it's because being socially isolated leads to being less physically active, which causes muscle weakness and makes falls much more likely. The connection is direct and it's undeniable.
And this is really the bottom line of why being alone is so dangerous in this context. A fall that causes 0 injuries can still become a life-or-death situation, all because of a delay in getting help. It's not the impact that creates the crisis, it's the waiting.
So, what can you actually do? Here's a super simple 3-step action plan. First, get the right walking stick for your needs. Make sure it's properly fitted. Second, always, and I mean always, carry your phone on your person. Not in a bag, not on a table across the room. On you. And third, take 5 minutes and turn on the safety features like GPS and fall detection. It could make all the difference. And really, it all comes down to a shift in how we think about this. One of our sources put it perfectly. These tools, the cane, the phone, they aren't luxuries. They are necessities. They're fundamental for preserving not just your safety, but the confidence and freedom that actually make for a good quality of life.
And that really leaves us with this final, really important question. How can all of us, as individuals and as a society, start to reframe these tools? How do we stop seeing them as a sign of weakness or getting old and start seeing them for what they truly are? A powerful, proactive declaration of independence.